Welcome, everyone, to What to Watch Live, the show where we discuss the best in TV and entertainment this week. My name is David, and today I am joined by my fellow Xfinity editors, Liz and Rose. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
It's Friday.
It is, and it's
a
sunny day out. It's beautiful. It's like 50 degrees-ish here in the Philadelphia area, which is fantastic because it's not cold. Very good. But today we're talking about cold stuff, basically. Today's show is all about the 2022 Winter Olympics, which are happening right now on the other side of the world. We will look at our favorite sports, our favorite athletes, our favorite sports documentaries, and how you can enjoy the very best Olympics experience from the comfort of your own home in 50-degree weather with Xfinity. So, without further ado, let's kick things off within the news. As I mentioned, we are 1 week into the Winter Olympics, and more than 150 bronze, silver, and gold medals have been won by athletes from around the world so far. Which country is ahead of the pack? Let's take a look at the current top 5 medal count. And looks like in the lead so far with 14 total medals is Norway, including 6 gold medals, followed by Austria with 14 total medals, but only 4 gold medals. Then the Russian Olympic Committee with 12 total medals, Canada with 12 total medals, and Germany with 11 total medals. And what's interesting is that although Germany has just 11 medals, they do lead in the gold medal count with 7. I've just said the word medal a lot of times.
A lot. I was counting,
medals,
like
total
23.
Medals.
23
is way,
it's like the
way too
what
much.
do I do with my hands? There's so much it becomes
there's so many medals.
Not like a word, right?
Medals. Did I mention medals?
Did I mention it's the total medals too? Unfortunately, the United States did not make the top 5, but our athletes aren't far behind. The U.S. is currently in 7th place with a total of 10 medals, including 4 gold medals for Nathan Chen, Chloe Kim, Lindsay Jacobellis, and the freestyle skiing mixed team. There is still a lot of competition to go, but it's a good start, exciting start to the Olympics so far.
Yeah, I mean, there's still room to get caught up. Absolutely. There's so much more Olympics to be had. Let's go USA. And congratulations to the competitors and countries that are up there.
Yeah.
Yes. Medals.
Total medals.
Medals.
When I was counting, it's crazy that there's already been 150 medals awarded so far. Like in a week, it doesn't feel like that much, but I guess all things considered.
Yeah, they're just not our medals.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Well,
there's lots of medals. A lot of medals to be had.
Medal events.
They're not USA medals.
No, but we'll get there. We'll get there eventually.
It's okay.
Yeah. There's some things
that
we're still.
That's all that matters. We're in the game.
It's true. And we're only we're not far behind. And although we're 7th, I think we're basically tied with number 6, who escapes my mind, but they are technically ahead of us because they have more gold. So we're just this close.
Gotcha.
Maybe we'll do it in curling.
It kind of makes sense. It's the Winter Olympics, and all the countries that you mentioned that are leading, I mean, they should, right? They should be leading in the medal count. They get lots of snow and better winter weather than we do. So good for them. Yeah. Congratulations.
Yep.
We're at the Olympics.
Congratulations.
If the Norway pavilion at Epcot taught me anything, it's that there's lots of snow in Norway, so they should be leading. Lots of snow and trolls. And trolls, apparently. And baked goods. Everything I
And
know
baked
about international travel, I learned at Epcot.
At Epcot.
Yay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's dive even deeper into the Olympics experience with a segment we call Collections Corner. Our sports editor Landon is currently embedded at Olympic headquarters watching all the action unfold, but he and his team have created an incredible Winter Olympics experience so you can enjoy every minute and every medal on every screen. So just say Olympics into your voice remote and you'll be greeted by this beautiful collection featuring a top navigation that allows you to immediately check the Olympic schedule, browse by your favorite sport, relive must-see moments, and check the medal count. You'll also see which Olympic events are on right now, and you can immediately jump to watching live coverage. If you're wondering what's scheduled for the day ahead, we've got you covered with a row of upcoming Olympic events. If there's something you missed, you can enjoy the top highlights from recent events or watch full event replays such as last night's snowboard halfpipe final or men's team curling. The Olympics destination also allows you to explore featured athletes, follow your favorite events, and brush up on some of the latest news from this year's events. And if you want to watch only the events that really matter, i.e. the medal events, you'll find a convenient row of medal event replays. And finally, if you just need a break from all the exciting live action, why would you? But maybe your heart's a little too palpitating. I don't know. You can check out dozens of Olympic documentaries and specials, some of which we will discuss in just a few minutes. So in short, there is nowhere better to enjoy the Winter Olympics coverage than with Xfinity. If you're an X1 customer, you have access to every single second of these Olympics with NBC, USA, CNBC, and Peacock. And if you've got Flex, you also have access to every single second of the Olympics with Peacock included at no additional cost. So just say Olympics into your voice remote to get started. And that is the Olympics destination. I hope I did Landon proud because he is working so hard to make sure all of this is updated. Big hand to Landon and the sports team because they're out there watching all of this, making sure the destination is updated, making sure the latest events are up there for everyone. So like there's no excuse to miss anything because it's all there for you.
Yeah, when we were talking about this segment, we wanted Landon to come in, but then we heard he's working like 16 to 18-hour days. This is what we do, folks. This is what we do for you at home. No sleep. Like, we're just there working for you. Landon's working hard. Like, there's so much to this destination, so much hard work and no sleep hours that go into it. My favorite is how you can choose by sport, because I didn't realize how many sports. We're always so attuned to, figure skating is really popular and snowboarding and, curling. Everybody loves curling, but like bobsledding and Nordic tracking.
Nordic tracking.
Yes. It's exactly what I'm watching. Yeah, that's it. Nordic tracking.
Look, I mean, that just goes to show, like, it's in there. Whether it's popular or not, you're gonna find it in this collection. Like, do you guys have any obscure sports that you watch for the Winter Olympics? Luge,
No.
maybe?
I mean, I don't know if it's like one of the newer sports that I was really obsessed with is the snowboard races. I don't know if it's called like the snowboard Grand Prix, or I can't recall, but it's just so cool to see people race on snowboards. And I don't know that that's like obscure, but it's newer, and I was really into that.
I thought it was just me. I saw that too. Like, the Olympics are on at my house, and not just because I work here, obviously, yes, but also because I love the Olympics. My family loves the Olympics. It is on all day, every day. And so I got a glimpse of, without me even trying to watch it, what you just talked about, David, was a bunch of people on a snowboard doing a whole routine, like going up and jumping, and I'm thinking, oh my God, they're not using their hands. Like, how will they stop? How do they keep that momentum? And you see them like these moves where they're trying to keep themselves going. I mean, it was phenomenal, and I couldn't stop watching. So it was really great. I'm so glad that I got a chance to see it.
Yeah, I
and
love
one other
the Olympics.
The Olympics, love it. One other shout out to just what makes this Olympics so complicated to just cover is they're on the other side of the world. So different time zones, like right now, like there's stuff happening, and someone's got to make sure that everyone can see it here in the United
What time
States.
is it over there right now? What are they, like a whole day ahead of us?
Something like that. I hoped you wouldn't ask me because I just literally don't know the answer.
I think it's like 13. It's like 13 hours, 13, 15 hours, something like that. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like a whole day. Wow.
Yeah, I thought it was a whole day.
Yeah. Oh, wait, this just in. 13 hours to be exact. 13 hours.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Thanks to our producer, Brad, for that one. Thanks, Brad.
Good looking out. Good looking out, Brad.
Great. Again, just say Olympics into your voice remote. There's so much exciting stuff. Just look around, browse. You'll find something that you like from one of the sports that you love. And now let's explore some of the greatest Olympic stories of all time in a segment called Editors' Picks. Just in time for this year's Winter Olympics, Peacock has released 3 all-new exclusive documentaries highlighting some of the top stories from Olympics past. And we'll kick things off with one of my favorite Olympic athletes of all time, alpine ski star Peekaboo Street. Let's take a look at a clip from the new documentary, Peekaboo.
Over a second ahead of anybody else, Peekaboo Street.
An amazing American with an unusual name.
People ask me, what are you thinking when you're going that fast? And I said, I'm thinking about how I can go faster.
Exactly what happened. My father just tried to attack me in my own house.
It was very, very dramatic.
Peekaboo put ski racing back on the map.
That will be gold for Peekaboo Street.
So Peekaboo is co-directed by former U.S. Olympic Committee Vice President and filmmaker Frank Marshall and former Olympian Lindsey Vonn. Yes, that Lindsey Vonn, who is making her directorial debut with this film. The documentary follows Peekaboo Street's childhood in Idaho to joining the U.S. ski team at the age of 17 to the devastating injury that almost ended her career. Peekaboo would ultimately win 2 Olympic medals, a silver in the 1994 Lillehammer Games and a gold at the 1998 Nagano Games. It was so interesting to learn more about Peekaboo's life and career with footage I don't recall seeing because those Olympics were still pretty young at the time, but it was just a really fascinating look inside an Olympian's journey from those early training days to what is peak Olympic performance and just the stress that they're put under to realize what they've dedicated so much of their life to and see what happens when that is almost taken away from you. It's only 90 minutes, so it's an easy watch. If you've been fully immersed in the Olympics like I have, you'll find this to be a really great companion piece to what you're seeing happen live right now during the Winter Olympics. So highly recommend Peekaboo. Rose, which documentary did you pick for this week?
I chose Medaling. And if there's anything that you know about figure skating, if you follow it or not, there's always something happening with those folks. So let's take a look at the clip.
The standing ovation.
Simply perfect.
We won the Olympics. That's what I thought.
How did that happen? They won that gold.
It's the French judge. It's the French judge.
She was pressured to vote for the Russians. It was shocking.
I was falsely accused. I did not cheat in Salt Lake City.
Medaling.
Ooh, yes. Medaling, medaling. The little play on words for this documentary series, Medaling, is very apropos. It follows the scandal behind Canadian figure skating pair, Jamie Saleh and I'm gonna get this wrong, David Pelletier, losing gold to the Russians. So I feel like this story is so compelling. I feel like it plays out like a scripted drama series because of there's love, there's romance, there is drama, and of course, scandal. And I feel like I don't know, is it me? Is this a common theme? There's like something with the Tanya Harding thing, there's something with this, but even with the judges meddling in it, if you catch my drift. But it is so interesting. Figure skating, these people work so hard at what they do just to have 3 to 5 minutes on the ice to show their hard work. And then there's always this underlying nefarious thing that's seemingly out to get them for what? For what? And this takes you through the dark underbelly of figure skating. Can you believe that figure skating has a dark underbelly? I mean, if history has shown us, yes. But you will not be disappointed when you see the meddling that happens in meddling. So that's my take. I hope you enjoy it. And as I say sometimes, watch it because you're curious, or if you don't really care about it, watch it anyways. So that was my pick.
There's even there's a figure skating scandal happening right now with one of the Russian Olympic Committee athletes who tested for a banned substance, and
that's right. And she's 15, and there's is that the one? Yeah, and they might be able to skirt around it because she's there's always something. Always.
Yeah, Kamila Valieva. Yeah, for sure. It's interesting. We've been talking a lot about that here at the house, right? Like, at what age should you know better? Or, how we also talk about making sure that you're always speaking up, right? And not to turn this show around, but you do have a responsibility for yourself. It's hard. It's very hard to be that young, like you mentioned, Rose, to try to compete at this level. And the pressure, not only your own pressure, your team, but your country's pressure, which I think adds a whole different dynamic that none of us, I think, can understand. So I'm hopeful that we get to the bottom of this, and that, she's amazing. She is amazing. So I hope that Kamila is, again, able to skate for sure.
Yeah. And not only is just she amazing, the athletes in general, they have so much to think about just performing, that all this noise in the background sort of gets in the way. I mean, I hope this doesn't diminish your view of the Olympics, because those athletes are amazing, outstanding, phenomenal human beings when they're out there on the ice. But this just gives you a glimpse into all of the additional things that they have to think about. So just keep that in mind. And meddling, you won't be disappointed, but we got to move on. So moving on to the next. Liz, what did you choose?
All right. I have to be honest. I think I have the best docuseries, actually. It's called American Rock Stars. And it really is, the best way to describe it, and they talk about it in the show, is they look like a bunch of dads who just wanted to get away from their family for the weekend, and then they happened to win an Olympic gold medal. Check out the clip.
Is it a miracle?
Team USA looks like dads that tried to get away from their family for a weekend and wound up winning the Olympics.
The United States has won curling gold.
It was the Americurl on ice.
Going home.
We have a lot of confidence.
Get up, son.
If we come and play how we're capable of playing, we have a great chance at winning.
Right? Like, I promise you, you will like this docuseries. It's an easy watch. It's a 4-part docuseries on Peacock that really walks through not so much curling. So admittedly, I still know nothing about curling, which is, okay, other than we're getting the stone in the target, using some brooms. It's amazing. But these guys are funny. They're down to earth. They're from Minnesota, and they even admit to, hey, we don't look like a normal Olympic athlete, right? You watch them train. So it really walks you through their win in 2018 against Sweden, which happened to be the reigning champ, right, if you will, who has always medaled. And they had an upset win, right? They're considered the rejects. And they went out there and absolutely killed it. So they walk you through that, and then all of the training that they needed to do for this year. So my guys are from Minnesota. They like to ice fish, have a couple of beers, and they are just like I said in the beginning of this, just a bunch of dudes, a bunch of guys who just happen to win a gold medal. They're phenomenal. Yeah,
I love
for sure.
it. Wait, walk me through, if you can give us a glimpse of like what's curling training look like? Do they show that at all?
Yeah, they do. So at one part they talk about they're like at a gym and doing all of the training things that you would normally think an Olympic athlete would do, like push-ups and running and doing all of this stuff. And the one guy, John Schuster, who also happened to be the flag bearer at the opening ceremonies, he's the skip, which is sort of like the team lead. And he's like, I can't do this. Like, we've got beer bellies. I mean, they're really great guys. It's a really great docuseries. You should definitely check it out.
I love that they're basically they're the Mighty Ducks of curling. Love it so much. I was watching curling and saw something I had never seen, and it never even occurred to me, is that when two rocks are really close to the center, like you can't even tell with your eyes which is closer. I had wondered how they figured that out, if it was some sort of lasers or something. No, they bring out this pressure gauge, and it's an arm, and it fits right in the center hole, and then they move it around, and there's a little stick that like bumps up against the rock, and whichever one creates more pressure on this little stick is closer. Doing a terrible job of explaining it, but it's really, really interesting, and I'm like,
I'm impressed
so
you even know
that,
about it.
I was just so like impressed that I thought like it was some sort of like top tech that they were using, but in true curling fashion and in true Mighty Ducks dudes from Minnesota fashion, it's just some metal contraption with an arm that tests which is closer. It was just pretty interesting.
Yeah, come on. I mean, it's curling, and the science and the form that goes into Skip, John Schuster, when he rolls out that stone. If you ever notice that form that goes on, I mean, I love it. I still don't know enough about it to be 100% honest. But it's fun to watch them vigorously broom and sweep that ice where they're all trying. I mean, listen, if you want a fun time, I swear, just watch curling. Make sure you watch American Rock Stars on Peacock. You will not be sorry that you did, for sure.
Great plug. Well, to check out these documentaries and so much more, just say Olympics into your voice remote, or say Peacock, and just go straight there and check out some of these documentaries. Now, speaking of athletes, let's find out which athletes and events everyone is talking about in a segment called Trending. As a fan of the Olympics, two sections of this year's Olympics destination really speak to me. First is the Browse by Sport collection, where you can quickly access an immersive curation of content showcasing your favorite Olympic sport. You see all these tiles here? If you only care about figure skating, click that figure skating icon, and you'll find a curation of upcoming figure skating events, event highlights, full event replays, athlete interviews, and highlights from Olympics past. And you're not just limited, of course, to figure skating. You can explore alpine skiing, the biathlon, bobsled, curling, hockey, luge, snowboarding, Nordic tracking. It's not on there because that's not a thing. But if you click on any of those tiles, you'll get this fully immersive curation specified to that sport. And then if you really want to immerse yourself in your favorite events, click the Follow Your Favorite Events tile on the Olympics destination, and you'll not only be able to choose to follow your favorite sport, but you can follow top highlights, gold medal moments, and the best of Team USA as well. By choosing your favorite sport, you'll actually prioritize your live coverage and trigger a curated row of highlights in your Olympics destination featuring the sports and moments you love most. So you're really just taking your Olympics into your own hands, saying, I care about this. And then we say, here, have all you can handle of Nordic tracking.
What is it really? Is it Nordic? What? Are we just going with Nordic tracking?
I don't know. I think you made it up. It'll be an Olympic sport in 4 years.
Yeah. Which sport and athlete do I love most? I'm so glad you asked. Personally, I am a huge fan of United States skier Mikaela Shiffrin. It's been a rocky road for Mikaela thus far at the 2022 Olympics after missteps in the slalom and giant slalom earlier this week and a 9th place finish in the Super G last night. But I've really admired the poise and grace Mikaela has shown despite those disappointing finishes. Early this morning on Instagram, she actually posted about her roller coaster ride so far, saying, I'm sending my love to those who are feeling that striking hurt of defeat. Only let it beat you down for a little bit, and then you stand back up again and throw a few punches. And if all goes according to plan for Mikaela, she will be punching back in a few events, including Monday's downhill, Wednesday's combined event, and Friday's team event. There's no guarantee she'll compete, but she did mention that she's going to start practicing for downhill. So fingers crossed that things turn around for Mikaela, but she's got a really great spirit and really showing, I think, not just athletes, but people at home that you can fall down, you can get back up. Even if you've been preparing for this moment for your entire life, like there's still hope. So love Mikaela, and I've really enjoyed watching her journey.
Yeah, I agree.
Rose, yeah. Any thoughts on Mikaela before we move on?
She is the great example of such an athlete that competes at a high level with a good, sound mind and mental health. Like to go for, these athletes, they make it look so easy, and to go that long and then only to perform not the way you hoped it would be, and then to really just say those words. I mean, it's a great example of a true athlete, mentally and physically.
Yeah, for sure. And well, I was just going to say that she also mentioned how she was questioning all her life choices, right? And she allowed herself the time to sort of get to that place and maybe question a couple of her life choices, but she's also making that choice to move on from it, right? And not to dwell and stay in that place, because we are all going to fail at something, no matter how hard we train, no matter how wonderful we are doing what we would normally do. We're going to have off days. We're going to have off weeks. So the fact that she's recognizing that, giving herself the time to dwell on it and be a little upset with herself, as she should be, right? Because she's trained so hard for this. And then saying, that's enough, I'm moving on, right? So to your point, Rose, I love that about her. I love how poised she's been and honest that she's been, instead of coming out there and going, oh, everything's great. It's not, right? It's not great, but she's doing the best that she can with what she has right now. So I'm really impressed with her for sure.
Yeah, and you made a good point. I mean, people have off days, but they also have personal lives. They have things that they're going through. These athletes they're not just athletes. They have lives outside. And Mikaela's father passed away 2 years ago, and he was her biggest fan and biggest supporter. And this is her first Olympics without him. So she's competing with that on top of expectations of her country and her teammates and everything else. So to just for her, even though she did not win a medal in the Super G yesterday, the fact that she got up there, she completed it, and still finished in 9th place is a big moment for her. So fingers crossed for the rest of the Olympics for Mikaela. Rose, who is your athlete that you are really, really excited about in this Olympics?
Here we go. So let me tell you about this young woman here.
Oh no, props.
She makes numbers like 900, backside 540s, like interesting, right? She's 21. She won her second gold medal on Thursday, and she became the first woman to ever win multiple gold medals in the women's event since it became the Olympic sport in 1998. I'm talking about Chloe Kim. She has her. She's 21 and she has hers together. Like when I was 21, I had no idea what the hell I was doing with my life. And she's competing at an Olympic event at such a high level, mentally and physically. She's my hero. I mean, come on. And for those reasons, that's why I chose Chloe Kim.
Wow. Wow. That was, I mean, you obviously have your stuff together because you have a whole wardrobe change, props. I mean, look at you.
I mean, I just have literal stuff. She's got like athletic stuff, mental stuff together.
This is why you are my mom's favorite editor. This is why she texts me to say, I love Rose after the shows are over because of stuff like this. But I mean, how do you not love Chloe Kim? I follow her on Instagram, and again, like she's just got such a great personality. She's so talented, but she's just cool. Like she's just makes snowboarding cool.
Yeah. Like
for sure.
We were just saying earlier, I'm going to be 39 for the 5th time this year, and I want to be her when I grow up. Okay, so that's just where it's at. Liz, what do you got?
Well, I think you're on your way with this hair color, right? It's very similar to Chloe's. Chloe's is a little lighter though, so you have some work to do. Really, come on. No, but she is phenomenal, and she's just been so great. Yeah, we do love her. We love Chloe. Look at this. I
can't. You're gonna knock something over. This is bound for disaster.
Wow.
Okay, so that's who I chose. Liz, let us have it. Who's your person?
Well, I don't have props, right? Sorry.
You are the prop.
Yeah, I am the prop. Thank you. Yes. My person is Nathan Chen, right? Wow. I am so excited to see him up on that podium. And I thought of you, Rose, because as I was watching the medal ceremony, he is just so gracious and is, just standing there singing his national anthem. And I just know that if it was Rose or I up there on that podium, and David, maybe even you too, I'd be rocking out. I'd be performing that national anthem because he did such a phenomenal job. And what a way to come back, right? From the 2018 Olympics where he was the favorite and ended up, in 17th place, I think. And this year winning a silver for the team event and winning a gold in the men's, a single men's event was phenomenal. Let's talk about this song that he used. I mean, it's all I'm listening to. He is classically trained as a pianist. He's also trained in ballet and trained with in some gymnastics as well. And he is known for coming out to classical pieces. And he did this beautiful Elton John rendition of Yellow Brick Road, and then Rocket Man. And then he goes into this twist. And I don't know all of the jargon, right? You probably do, Rose. But he goes into this twist. The music drops. And he then gets to show his personality because he did all the fun technical stuff. He is known as the Quad King. And he did tons of quads in that first half of his performance. And then there was a remix to Benny and the Jets that Pink did with Logic that... I mean, you get a stank face when it's playing, right? Like, and even Nathan was up there like doing his moves and some stank face. And I was like, yes, Nathan! Showing some personality. I was so excited for him. He did such a great job. Now, I do want to talk about his wardrobe because I didn't even notice. But when you look on Twitter, because he's such a phenomenal skater, Vera Wang is the one who designs all of his costumes. And he's getting so much backlash because somebody said Vera Wang hates Nathan Chen the most, right? And I'm here for it. Like, it's such a shame that they're getting so much backlash. But unpopular opinion, I don't mind his costumes. I think that he is just such a phenomenal skater. He can come out there and skate in whatever the hell he wants to and still be amazing. And I'm just so proud of him and can't believe all of the backlash that he's getting over a costume. Come on, people. Come on. So yeah, Nathan Chen, that's
let
my
me
guy.
see you do some quads out there, people.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, get over it. He was incredible, and again, like another athlete that is just so humble. I saw an interview with him after my local news last night on one of the wrap-up shows, and he was just so kind and humble and introspective about the Olympic experience and what it was like to win gold. And I mean, that's kind of what you want in your Olympic athletes representing your country. They just seem like good people. So love that.
For sure.
Well, you can browse by sport and follow your favorite events by just saying Olympics into your voice remote and follow our favorites or your own. And before we say goodbye, as always, we're here to help you plan your weekly watch list with a segment called Plan Ahead. This week's premieres include the story of a notoriously fake socialite, the nearly completed story of a zombie apocalypse, and the reimagined story of a teenager who moved with his auntie and uncle in Bel Air. And Rose is going to tell us all about it. Rose?
The wait is over, Dollface fans. If you're hearing about Dollface for the first time, let me catch you up. Kat Dennings plays Jules, who tries to reconnect to her female friends after a 5-year relationship ends. If you're a fan of Kat Dennings like I am, this is a great show which puts her comedic line delivery front and center. But I digress. She stars in Dollface, which makes its Season 2 premiere on Hulu February 11th. The pods are back. Watch this matchmaking social experiment where you get to know everything about your future mate except what they look like. Find out if love is truly blind in the second season of Love is Blind, premiering February 11th on Netflix. The Fresh Prince of Bel Air gets a dramatic reboot. The tune may be different, but the story remains the same as we see a new dramatic take on Will's journey going from West Philadelphia to the gated community of Bel Air. Watch the series premiere February 13th on Peacock. Imagine this, $100,000 from a bank, flying on private jets, $55,000 shopping sprees, all while pretending to be a German heiress with a trust fund. Based on real-life events, watch the story of Anna Sorokin, who have been quoted saying, "I'm not sorry," and how she swindled New York City's elite in inventing Anna, February 11th on Netflix. Watching the storylines of beloved characters like Maggie, Carol, Daryl, and so many more has been an emotional roller coaster for us all. And that can be attributed to the outstanding writing and performances we witnessed on the show. Watch how it all ends on part 2 of the series finale of The Walking Dead, and you can watch it early on AMC Plus, February 13th.
David, I know you have something to say about these premieres. I'm excited about these premieres because it's like, I feel like I've binged everything that's on right now, and there's still all this stuff that's new that's coming out, but what do you got?
So we often get to watch a lot of stuff early. This is a rare week where I've seen 2 of the series you mentioned almost in their entirety, basically. I have seen the first 5 episodes of Love is Blind Season 2, which was released today. They're releasing 5 and then I think 3 and 3. If you loved Love is Blind season 1, season 2 is even better. It's outrageous. So if you don't know the plot, basically they stick these singles in pods. They don't get to see each other. They go on dates, sight unseen, just talking through this wall. The only way they get out of those pods is if they get engaged. Someone proposes, they get engaged, then they see each other. Then they send all the couples who got engaged to a vacation in Mexico for a week to explore the physical side of their relationship. Then they move into apartments together leading up to the wedding. And only at the altar do they decide whether to actually get married. They meet each other's families. It's wild. And there are actually like still 3 couples married from season 1 of Love is Blind.
Season 1, yeah.
Insane. But season 2 is even crazier because there are people you will meet in those original dates where you're like, this guy's the worst person on earth. I've never met anyone who's more terrible. Then the first reveal and you're like, oh my God, his reaction was so sweet. Like, what a nice guy. Oh my God, I want this to last. Then they get to Mexico and you're like, he's the devil. Like, he's actually, this is Satan. And then you have the same thing with like a woman who you're like, I just want so much love for her. And then, oh, it's great. And they like each other. And then they go on the dates and you're like, oh, she's awful. Like, it is I've never rooted or like booed and cheered the same people so many times in a single season. It's wild. If you give it a shot, if you haven't tried it, if you have seen it, you're in for a really great time. Secondly, real quick, Inventing Anna. I've watched the entire thing.
Yes.
It's good. Julia Garner, who's on Ozark and is just phenomenal in that, plays fake socialite con woman Anna Delvey. There's a really great clip from Fallon where she broke down how she does the accent.
Yes.
Yeah. So she was like born in Germany, so she's got a little German, but she fakes that she's Russian, so she adds a layer of Russian, and then she's got this New York accent on top of that. And it's like you want to imitate it, but it's so weird that you can't even like figure out how to do it right. But there's a phrase she says because she's trying to build a club called the Anna Delvey Foundation, and she says it so many times. And all week I was going, the Anna Delvey Foundation. The Anna Delvey Foundation. The Anna Delvey Foundation. It's just like...
It's so good. Wait, I mean, not Fantastic. To go off on a tangent about this, but I read about this because it's based on an actual person who did this on true events.
Yeah.
I read the article, who it was written by someone she actually conned. And I was like, ooh, someone better pick this up because this sounds too good to be true. And I'm so happy it did. I have been waiting for this story to come out, this the putting it on the small screen or big screen or whatever, since the real story came out, because it was that juicy with all of this stuff. And spoiler alert, I mean, you can Google it and you'll see it, but I mean, she gets convicted. But here's a quote from her. She says, "I'm not sorry. Like, I never did it for the money. I did it for the power."
Wow. I've been influenced. I cannot wait to see this show. I'm excited.
Yes. I mean, and so not only that, have you got premieres to watch, you've also got finales to wrap up your week. So I know we've got
Good segue. And in this week's finales, we say goodbye to a family reunion, a group of musical queens, a foul-mouthed anti-hero, and Stanley Tucci on a boat. And Liz is going to tell us all about it.
Here I go.
Okay, on to the finales. So grab your favorite person, your favorite beverage, both or one or the other, and snuggle up on the couch for this week's finales. The CW show 4400 will finale on February 14th. This is a reboot of the 2004 show called The 4400. And this is where, in case you've missed it, thousands of people mysteriously disappear over the years with like a span of 100 years. What's great about the show is, and a little different than the original show, is that they really try hard to represent all marginalized communities. So great show, again, wrapping up on February 14th. For all my Love and Hip Hop fans, season 2 of VH1's Family Reunion, Love and Hip Hop Edition, is coming to an end also on Valentine's Day, February 14th. This features the cast members from Love and Hip Hop New York, Miami, Atlanta, and Hollywood. If you've been watching, tons of celebration and the drama, all coming to an end now on February 14th. You won't want to miss it. ABC's The Queen's finales on February 15th. Now, this is a musical drama that follows 4 women in their 40s who finally get together or back together for a chance to recapture and reignite what they once had in the 90s. I'm here for all of the 90s references, the music, the nostalgia. It stars Eve, Brandy, Naturi Naughton, Nadine Velasquez. And if the show isn't good enough, we also have a Queen soundtrack with some original songs. Fingers crossed they come back for another season, but make sure you won't miss the Queen's finale on February 15th on ABC. HBO Max's The Peacemaker comes to an end on February 17th. This is for all my DC comic fans. This is a Max original directed by James Gunn that's a spin-off from the Suicide Squad, and it follows the story of Christopher Smith, who's AKA the Peacemaker, played by John Cena. So you won't want to miss it, again on February 17th on HBO Max. And rounding us out is on February 17th is an AMC Plus original, La Fortuna. This is a drama miniseries that stars Stanley Tucci, who is a treasure hunter, and he literally battles Spain for control of the ship and all of the treasure within it. So lots of legal battles, courtroom, and Spanish politics if you're into that. Again, it's La Fortuna, wrapping up on February 17th.
And if you're looking for a tease of what's coming a little further out, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel returns to Prime Video on February 18th. Killing Eve premieres its final season on AMC February 20th. America's Got Talent Extreme debuts on NBC February 21st. Snowfall is finally back on FX February 23rd. And the OG Law & Order reboot premieres on NBC February 24th. And that will do it for today's show. Huge thanks to my fellow Xfinity editors Liz and my mom's favorite Rose for joining me. If you want, no offense to Liz or anyone else, you're the favorite, not even me. It's just Rose. So if you want to check out the TV shows and movies we talked about today, get more of our entertainment recommendations, or watch us interview big celebrities, just say what to watch into your voice remote or tune in here every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern for a new episode. My name is David. Thank you for joining us on What to Watch Live. Adios.
Bye.